to record or not to record? That's the question. Yes, y'all. To the beach, y'all. I'm back. I'm healthy. I was going through a crazy sickness, right? All right. Episode 22, main character. Main character show. Main character podcast. Call it what you want. It's my show. For now. Until I get other people and work with them. But to keep this thing rolling, I'm changing something else too. Because before I used to have like, anime the pod. Sometimes I'll be losing track. I don't hold you. So I'm just going to update you on anime that I've been watching. And we're going to talk about that. Okay. Probably like where I'm at as far as in the anime. And then, go from there. But we got a couple of things to talk about. First off, I like to start with health check. And let me go in a different order, okay? Spiritual. You know me. I love God. I love Yahshua. Both got me. Always and forever. Always and forever. Always and forever. Let's go with the it's a tie. Because one leads into another topic and another one leads to, you know what? Let's go with what happened, right? Because I want to do these things. I want to do like episodes. I might be talking too close, but I want to do episodes of like this podcast or this show. I want to do it weekly, maybe twice in a week, depending on how I'm feeling. Who knows? Because I want to start doing the gaming content too, and I gotta record it on Twitch. And then when I record it on Twitch, is my nose good yet? I just had to check it real quick. But I record it on Twitch and just bring it over and then just put it under there and, you know what I mean, try to get something going. But let's start with the physical, okay? The physical, I was sick. 2 weeks ago, I could feel it. Sunday, it was like, all right, my throat hurts a little bit, slightly. Now, two things can happen if your throat hurts slightly. And pause on all accounts. If you need to. You really don't. But maybe. Either you slept with your mouth open, and if you had the fan going, you usually, when you snoring or whatever, that just means you having some good sleep. Your airways is blocked, but, if you dip back all the way like that, then, hey. Or two, you're getting sick, buddy. And I was hoping, and I was just saying, hey, it's because, slept my mouth open. I was snoring. Not the case. Body said, hey, guess what? Guess what you and me are doing? We're taking a chill pill. Why? Because I was super sick. I was super sick. And it was just the New Year too, but I was super sick. I'm saying the week before last week. That Monday, it really set in. And I like to do my journeys where, like, I kind of log it in on TikTok, which, by the way, we gonna talk about it, okay? But, like, I usually do my calisthenics journey, and I'm on week 7, day 1. It was a break day. I like it that it starts with a break day. Cool, sets me up just right. I was feeling bad, and I'm like, hey, I might not be able to do tomorrow. Something wasn't like I felt it on Sunday. Something just came over me like, man, something's up. And I don't know why. It was just sudden out of nowhere. It's just like, yo, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling a couple of things. I get sick. I don't know if it was the flu or the cold, maybe. But I was in here like, oh my God. Like, I think with me, what happens is I'll get sick at the most twice a year. At the least, like, once. But when I get sick, it's like my body just piles it like, hey, we're just going to get sick all at once. Like a stockpile. We're just going to stockpile the sickness at once. And then that's it. Dog. I thought I had COVID at one point. Come on, man. Like, I don't want COVID. I blame the gym. I don't know why I blame the gym, because It really wasn't until I went to the gym and then I started getting sick. Because usually I have this thick ass mat that I could use here that I can do my calisthenics on. Because my calisthenics are no weight, you know, at home exercise. I just do them at the gym because the gym has room, and I don't think people want me to do the most in this apartment. Even though I know they can only hear like to a degree, but still, I might be doing the most of them. And it's always the gym. I caught COVID when I went to the gym a couple years ago when it was still rampant, like super rampant. But I get sick, and man, the last time I remember being this sick was last year when the House of Dragons was out. The House of Dragons was out. I was cooked. Cooked. I was on this very couch over here, which is the best couch in the world to me. I don't know what drew me to it exactly, but this right here, my mom came to visit me. She's up on this couch. Was like, yo, this is a soft ass couch. Girl comes over here, soft ass couch. I'm on there. I'll be like, dog. Sometimes, close that door. I'm laying on this couch. Okay, but I was sick that week, whole week, and some days leading into the next week. Then I was getting healed, so I couldn't work out again. So I haven't been working out for like how I wanted to. I haven't been working out for 2 weeks. Big downer, to an extent. It wasn't like, oh, it was me, but I was like, damn, I was kind of on a roll. And the program that I do, the Next app thing, I always make it around like the 7th week and then just stop. Like maybe like I stop and like, you know what, I miss weights, or I stop and just I'm trying to finish it this time and I want to keep it going. So I wasn't recording nothing much. It was just, you know, I'd watch anime and be me. And see how crazy the world was getting. Okay, that's the health thing now. As far as physical, I'm good. I'm pretty sure I'm like at 99%, 99 to 100. I want to say 99 because there's always that 1% chance. Well, I'm ready to hit my calisthenics again. I know it's gonna kill me because I haven't been doing calisthenics, like, you know, I haven't been doing them like I've usually been doing them, but that's okay. I'm gonna push through it. Takes care of the physical. Now the mental. I can't even hold you. It juggles between okay and what the fuck. Because to them taking away TikTok had the whole thing going on. Oh, we're gonna ban it. We're gonna ban it. We're gonna ban it because of this. They got to sell it. This and that. And when it finally was like, damn, it's the day. And it was 10:38 on that 10:38 on that Saturday, where it was completely like just shut down. I'm scrolling, I can't scroll no more. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I'm like, no, they really are shutting it down. Sure enough, they shut it down. It was just like, oh man, like I got comfortable. The only reason I started doing, you know, trying to do stuff like this, because I got comfortable with doing videos on TikTok. And how I can keep doing this because I'm comfortable because of TikTok. But it was just like, yo, it was like a cool thing to do. Like you pop up a video and then you're good. They were like, no, we're not selling. All right, make sure. No, we're not selling. It's just gonna have to shut down. And you get that little notice, like due to the ban, you know, it's shutting down. But we're trying to work with, you know, Trump, see if we can get it back up. Didn't even last that long because people were telling me, hey, TikTok's back up. No, it's not. I just checked it early in the morning. It wasn't up. Guess what? It was back up. It was back up. People were rejoicing. There was a lot of tears. There was a lot of tears as far as like it cutting off, because to tell you the truth, that was a lot of people's livelihood. Like I would feel a certain way too if I had enough followers to where I was generally making money and people could do stuff like not have to work that humdrum ass job that they was working. Not having to do the most as far as like going out, just being a regular stationary tool or whatever, and being creative in their own creative way. And making money from stuff that, they could do, that they actually like to do. A lot of people got their start off. So that going away, I can understand that. There was a lot of, hey, since this app is going away, I just want to say this, or I was faking this, or I was doing this. And when it come back, it's like, yo, you kind of got egg on your face. Cause why? Why were you doing the exact most? Okay. And I kept my app downloaded because something told me like, hey, yeah, they took it away, but something's got to bring it back because we drive it. We drive the culture on there, specifically black people. This is leading to a whole bunch of topics, but I'm still going to cover it regardless. The point is, as far as my emotional health, it was kind of like a bummer, and then it came back. But now it's more of a bummer just because it's suspicious. Because now it says, oh, well, thanks to Trump, we're working something out behind the scenes. We're bringing it back for now. Y'all just take it down for a day just to play with us, just to immediately bring it back. And kudos to the people that went to the Red Note app, because that showed like, yo, we're not playing. Oh, y'all say this is giving our data? Bet we're really gonna give our data. We're gonna give useless data, because that's all it is useless data. Is nothing they could really do. Like, it's the one thing that thing did too was, before, if you were in the military like me, or if you were well traveled, not a lot of people get a chance to do it. But those that are blessed to do it, or those that serve the country, thank you first off. But when you go overseas, you get stationed overseas, or you just travel overseas, you get to see how these other countries are living. And some of the countries that America would talk down to for years, like Africa, for example, or China, or like, these Asian countries, you're looking at them like, yo, y'all are way ahead of us. Like, what the fuck are we doing? We want to claim number one, nigga. Our bathrooms ain't even number one. Like, yo, they got bidets over there that be just bidets alone. Me going to Korea, I thought, man, I don't know anything about Korea because I forgot it existed until I got stationed there. Once I got there, I'm like, hey, they got this, they got this. Like, oh, they got shit just like we do. So what makes it that different? You see how the people are, you see how the culture acts, you see how everything is interactive, and how things are set up, and how they're like, not 7-Elevens, but like their version of 7-Elevens are set up. And then when I got to Japan, forget about it. I did not want to leave. Japan was so beautiful to me. Not just because I'm a big nerd when it comes to like anime and stuff, but just the environment and the way it feels. Just the culture of how they have it set up to have clean streets. Simple stuff like vending machines. You could go a block or two vending machine, and the vending machines are filled with regular stuff, hot or cold sides. Food vending machines that get your food heated up, ready to go. Nothing crazy. The food tastes better. You don't feel bad eating fast food over there, because it's made. I don't know how they do it. It's just made better, and it's not like a moment thing where it's just, oh man, it's in the moment. Like, no, because me being over there for like a year or some change, I'm like, dog, the McDonald's is hidden. Okay, this KFC this Popeyes is hidden. This Burger King's hidden. Then you come back, you're like, yo, I feel kind of bad. You can taste the difference in what you're putting in your body as far as the fast food here versus there. Complete difference. But yeah, the what was it? Xiaohongshu. Ni hao xi xing mai. It's shown. Let me correct that. A lot of the people, like, hey, for people that weren't world travelers, you can talk to the people there. You can see stuff like how their apartments are, how their environment looks. Like, yeah, they don't have a perfect society, but damn, they're poor. Their poor are not like our poor. Okay, because our poor can't afford a damn thing without working to the bone and just being homeless or just down and out. Like, they're poor as little. They're still able to afford like housing and food. It's not like the most luxury of things, but it's still good enough to where you're not like damn, I truly hate life. Over here, being poor, you truly hate life, and it's understandable. Uh, but you get to like see how the people are, how they act, and how their society is. What they think about their society, and just these different things that was really eye opening. Like people's minds is like, dog, wait a minute. Between TikTok showing us like different stuff and like that just interacting with the people and they going like, nah, we do this. Like what they tell you, like, nah, we do this. Like what? Over here in America, we only got this. Open their eyes. Government didn't expect that. They're like, oh God, no, wait. No, don't do that. It's too late now though, because once you it's like when you unveil the curtain on certain things that you believed as a child and then you learn the truth about them and you can no longer close that curtain again. That's why it's important. I know like stuff like Christmas and stuff like Christmas and Easter. What happens when you lose a tooth, something like that. Krampus, just funny stuff like that. The world of a child is not all children, because some children do have it rough, but the world of a child is peaceful to a certain extent, and you kind of got to keep that peace so that way they have something to look back on, something to be like, yeah, I did have a good time growing up because I didn't have to worry about this and this. Don't show them the struggle on your face when you got bills to pay, and just giving them a certain amount and thinking it's not good enough and they just appreciating it. Like once you unveil the curtain on children, on younger people, that hey, this is what life really is, you can't close the curtain anymore. In fact, it's not even like a shower curtain thing, it's more like a rip. Now they have to just see it, be it in there. It's sad. Okay, it's sad. But I don't know, they brought TikTok back. They brought TikTok back. But it's like I still have my eyes squinted. Not because I'm light skinned. Just, I don't know. Something seems fishy. Then, your boy. Your president. President 47, dog. He was 4 Feezy, now he 47. Agent 47. Back in office. It's not like a super, oh my God, it's the end of the world scary type thing, but it is like, you hear it from both sides of like, oh, what is he doing? Why is he doing this? Like, oh, what's going on here? Why is he, like, there have been people that have told you, and you should have known from the first time he was president. Wasn't going to change. People have told you, hey, this is what he's like. Once he beat those charges, all this stuff that he was supposed to pay for just going just like that. Like, oh yeah, he's untouchable. He's winning. Murder was the case that they gave me. And not specifically that, but just saying like the case that they gave him, man, he's just like, yo, I beat the case. You're going to see a different type of Donald Trump. That's all I'm saying. Already planning on signing in like 200 things. He's trying to undo some of the stuff that Biden did. It's just a petty thing back and forth. Like, we don't have time for a petty president. We have time for a petty person. But you guys out there, whoever's listening that did vote for him, normally I don't get into it, but yo, we need representatives that represent us the best and make the best sound decisions. That's the important part that we have done a poor job of teaching everybody, not just the young people, because young people are the future. People don't just say that as a slogan to put on t-shirts or into a song. It's an actual thing. Young people are the future. But we are also the future too. The younger people. The older younger people. Okay? Reaching up to like the older people that aren't like super old, but they're almost getting there. And even the older generation, like, as long as you still here and breathe and you have a future and you get into the next day, get into the tomorrow, you are the future. And we have to do more with educating, even if we just can get a base understanding on stuff, to get out there, to make people understand, like, yo, this is what this person stands for, this is what this other person stands for, depending on who you are and what you got lined up. This is kind of who you should vote for. Not necessarily saying like, yo, you gotta vote for this person. Just, this is the information. Do with it responsibly what you will. That's why we're in this mess, talking about wanting to change it from the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and your boy Elon Musk putting up a very heartfelt Nazi salute. I'm not gonna repeat it. Just know that first part where he beat the chest and then put the hand out there. You could have done anything. You could have been like, yo, like, it's because of you, or, you know, hey, you do the little Trump thing. Nah, he put a straight, like, it was like a just straight out, almost like Palpatine. We're just trying to like get the lightning or something. So it's more like it sucks when people say buckle up, but hey, we got 4 years. Buckle up, hunker down. These 4 years, education is key. Covering your own ass is key, and the likes. Okay, so that's the 3 health checks. You know, not sick anymore. I'm always spiritually covered and secure. And the mental is going to flip-flop, I can tell, throughout these 4 years. But hey, we try to stay strong so that way we can last long for a time. Let's get to something a little brighter. After I cut away and then keep recording. And I'm back. It's probably a super short minute, but that was a quick pause. Gotta text, gotta do what I gotta do. Anime new segment. All right, what I'm watching, and I have the list over here. We got Sakamoto Days that just came out. I had bought the first volume of Sakamoto Days. Okay, actually pretty cool. So I know what's gonna happen in the first couple of episodes. I like to get, when shows come out, sometimes I like to get the first, if I can, I like to get the first volume of the manga, just so I could read a little bit, see like, okay, this was gonna happen in these episodes. Like, is it gonna be, you know, top tier? Really, for the anime, I give it 5 episodes. Like always, it's a 5 on Anime Take. Give it 5 episodes to see if I'm still gonna be interested or not, and then that's it. So as far as what I read in the book, it's gonna be one of those funny but cold type of animes. As much as I see it in the manga, I got 5 things on here too. So let me just talk about it. 5 is my lucky number, by the way. Sakamoto Days. This guy was the, you know, the overpowered guy, the hitman above hitman, the Baba Yaga, the John Wick of this universe. Highlight, you know, he's just a killer's killer. Then he meets a lovely lady. There's a story of a lovely lady. He meets a lady in a shop that just puts it on him. Not even on purpose. She doing what she do. Here, enjoy this, having a little laugh. He just is like, hey, this is the love of my life. I can't let this go. I gotta get to her. And it's not really giving away too much. It's just, they're gonna tell you that in the first minute. He's an ex-hitman. Meets this woman, leaves the whole organization, settles down, gets married, and what seems like a fit figure, he just turns up fat. Okay, it happens. A lot of the dad bod. Okay, you get to life, you get comfortable. You're not really doing what you used to do before. You're putting all your focus into something else, like a kid, your wife. You get a different type of job. So now he has this whole like a store, you know, like a small 7-Eleven, or like how they have the usual in anime, like the convenience type of stores. He owns that. Sakamoto store with his wife, and he's raising his daughter, and it's all cool, okay? And then he's slowly getting, just like they have the legends of like, oh, this guy was a Baba Yaga. Does he still have it? And you see, he still got it. And he be doing small favors for people in the community. Everybody loves him. And there's one guy that comes in and is trying to take him out, and Sakamoto's like, hey man, with no words, really, not like that. Like, very few words, mostly action. Like, listen, I can get you up out of here with a rubber band, with a pen cap, whatever. But you're going to learn, if you haven't watched it yet, you're just going to learn that, number one, don't judge a book by its cover, and number two, this guy's him. It don't matter if you're fat, slim, young, old, he's him. And he's very known, but you can't, just off the top, like, you can't just, once you're a hitman, you can't just leave super early. You might know some secrets, you might know some people, you might know some things you're not supposed to, and people just can't have you just leaving out in the open and having a good old life. Of course, you're going to be a target later on. So yeah, so far so good. Did I watch the second? That's the one. I gotta watch the second episode. I watched the first episode. Second episode, I gotta peep. Normally, sometimes too, when I read, I don't have to worry about the first couple of episodes because I know what's gonna happen. If it matches up, it matches up, but I know the action is gonna be well. I'm just waiting for the next things to happen. Sakamoto days, look out for that. Dragon Ball Daima, I'm still strong on Dragon Ball Daima. I'm still strong on the fact that I am enjoying Dragon Ball Daima more than Super, because Super was more flashy. The hair colors. Hey, you're a Super Saiyan God. Hey, you have Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. So there's no need for Super Saiyan God. Like, oh, you have this person that took over Goku's body, but can change the color of Super Saiyan God. He's Super Saiyan Rose. We brought Broly back. He's Super Saiyan Green. You got the whole Power Rangers coming up. Hey, here's Trunks. But now he looks like a bitch. Like, they fucked up Trunks. These Kid Trunks and Goten, they're teenagers by now, so they should look like that. And you would think like, oh, okay, Saiyans normally stay a kid for a little bit longer because they keep their youth so that way they can fight longer. But that's the pure Saiyans. If you haven't watched Dragon Ball, Goku, even when he was a teenager, he still stayed in kid form for a long time. And then once like a year passed or something, and they didn't see Goku, he immediately shot up. Like, this is more than just a growth spurt. This is like a body spurt. Immediately shot up to like an adult form, almost like a Pokemon. Okay, pretty much. But there we go. The normal Saiyans, the pure blood Saiyans, are more like Pokemon. The half are more like Digimon. You can see like the progression. Like, they'll get older here, then they get, like, you remember Kid Gohan, then you remember Teen Gohan, and then you remember like Adult Gohan, and you could kind of like see it gradually. Goku and them was different. Like, Kid Goku, Teen Goku were the exact same height, looked the exact same until you got to the later teen where Goku just shot up. It was okay, time to be an adult. So yeah, part of that Super, I don't like it. The whole Super Saiyan God thing, I don't know. Some of the stuff, some of the particulars per se in Super, I kind of don't like. Yeah, they had the cool moment where now he's got UI, like Ultra Instinct, and Goku has Ultra Instinct, Vegeta has Ultra Ego, and but Dragon Ball Daima takes you back to Dragon Ball while adding a lot more to the world. It adds a lot more to the world of Dragon Ball in total than Dragon Ball Super did. Sure, Dragon Ball Super shows you, hey, there's a god of destruction, there's an angel that's stronger than him that kind of keeps him in check, and you have other universes, there's more Super Saiyan forms. Okay, cool. Dragon Ball Daima, like, it's kind of taking you back to like, oh, this is how the multiverse was even created, and this is Supreme Kai's race. And you have Namekians who aren't originally just aliens. They actually came from the demon realm and, decided to migrate to a whole nother planet because of a certain reason. Because that whole Piccolo being black thing, just know, definitely not off for these years. We definitely were not off. Characters that aren't black but are black. It's a whole list. Just what they're adding, the adventure, action and the adventure, the focus on the Dragon Balls. Because the focus, of course, they're going to the demon world. They got to rescue Dende, stuff like that. But they have to get the Dragon Balls for this particular reason. They really got to get the Dragon Balls. So it's kind of more focused on that and the adventure aspect and a little bit of attack. But it's also expanding the universe and possibly making Super better. That's why I kind of wish that this came out before Super, because it in chronological order it takes place before Super. It takes place right after, and I don't know why they keep trying to fit it in between that slot, but it takes place right after the Buu saga and before Super even happens. And you know about Super. Super happens a couple years after the Buu saga, but before the end of Dragon Ball Z, where he meets Oob and fights in the tournament and all that stuff. So Dragon Ball Super, I'm really enjoying. Some people saying I was bugging. I don't care. It's my opinion, for one. And for two, just look at it. Okay? Yeah, Goku's a kid, but this is what I think Akira Toriyama wanted Dragon Ball GT to be, but it just didn't pan out like that. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. Not to mention, I still enjoy Dragon Ball GT. I want them to bring back a couple of those things, like the Dragon Balls having a negative effect after so many wishes, and each of the dragons representing a certain wish that was made, and an enemy that was, affected by what the Saiyans were doing, and now they're trying to get their get back. The Super 17 thing, you can kind of keep that somewhere else. It didn't make sense. In the Super Saiyan 4, please bring that back. Please. We can't forget something so monumental. You got to bring that back in some way. Either you give it to... You already gave Gohan Beast Gohan. Give Super Saiyan 4 to Broly. If that works. Because it kind of does. Because the way that Broly is. I would say, just give him that form. And it's like, here's the many ways that Saiyans can get power. Daima, one that's not super popular is High Card. High Card dealt with a deck of 52 cards. Each card has a certain power attached to it. The cards got loose, and now there's a whole collection scramble going on for who can get the cards, so that way, whoever has the most cards has the most power at their fingertips, stuff like that. And you get the main character who he's had this one card the whole time, and now he's kind of thrusted into this world to learn exactly what's going on with the cards. You get to see the other people and their abilities, and it's kind of entertaining. I have a level. You gotta see it. See it when you have time, and don't watch. This one, see it when you have time. Okay? See it when you have time. If your anime docket is empty right now, you're looking for something, then watch that. Solo leveling, first off, is that work. Sun Jong-woo is that guy, and this is an anime about a person who at first it didn't seem to be that guy. Then he get his second chance, a powerful second chance to rise to the occasion if he chooses to do so, and he chooses to do so. And boy, is he doing it, okay? He's putting in the work. He's overpowered. Much like One Punch Man, but it's different because One Punch Man he wasn't overpowered from the start. He kind of worked for it. So it's kind of... But this One Punch Man is just still overpowered. It's just trying to find somebody that can actually challenge him. This one, it's Sun Jong-woo. And if you don't know about solo leveling in that world, it's a reverse isekai type of thing. Where portals open around the world... People all of a sudden have these abilities to them when they're born. And once they get it checked and it awakens, then you have a level. You're stuck at that level. So let's say if you have the normal like F to, if you have like F to S rank, like in a lot of games or card rarities, something like that. If you're an S rank, then your abilities are super powerful from the get go. And it can't get no lower. It's just however you can use them, that's how you get things done. If you're at a F level, you're just at an F level. Whenever the dungeons happen, if it's an F level dungeon, that's the only one you can really get to, unless you're able to go with a group and they can protect you in the higher dungeons. Otherwise than that, you're at F level. You can't make too much money there because it's not that much. And that's where your main character starts out with. He starts out with this E level, super weak. Doesn't have the best abilities, but he had heart in the right at the right time, and this gave him a second chance and an ability to unlock something that lets you level up. So it turns him from like an NPC to a main character in an RPG. So he can level up his abilities. If he does the work and works towards it, then he can, get up there to the S rank. And the way that he's doing it, like he's working hard for it. It's not like he's just overpowered from the get. He got that aura. He's got the fire in his heart. He's got the glow. Gold Dragon. Okay? He's got it. And this episode that just passed, I don't want to, let's just say for people that didn't watch it, I don't want to spoil it. Just know that we get to learning more about his family a little bit and what Sun Jong-woo can do. And this certain dungeon that he's in, he's starting to progress into it. Like, it's a really strong dungeon, even strong for him. So he has to go in there, see how far he can get, leave, go get stronger, come back, and do it like that. Again, like RPG. So yeah, that solo leveling is definitely fire. And one that's, okay, this Castlevania is not an anime by any chance. This is Castlevania Nocturne. Castlevania is not an anime, but it's starting to get to the point where there's so many things that an anime doesn't have in one look, even in itself. Anime is just happened to be cartoons from Japan. But the term, because you have American cartoons and Japanese cartoons are just anime. It's just differentiating itself. Just like manga is Japanese comics and manhwa is Korean comics, and like it's starting to blur now because the people that are coming up now in the industry as far as animation, even if they're in America, they're inspired by anime because anime is everything. And it's got the action. It not only has the action, but it has the story. And you could say like, oh, cartoons are for kids. That was the case before, but with these, the thing that I always loved about anime was that, yeah, it could be like, okay, it's on kids programming or something, but they don't dumb you down. They still put in meaningful stuff in there. And to tell you the truth, there's enough in there to where kids can watch it and adults can watch it. And we're both almost watching two different things because the kids would be like, oh, look, like the Naruto thing, for example. When I first watch it, it's like, oh, it's ninjas. Like, ninjas are cool. Like, oh, he's fighting. Like, oh, look, he can do shadow clones. Like, he can make copies of himself. Like, he kicking ass. Like, oh, he can make the Rasengan. And like, oh man, they were treating him like trash, but now he's rising up. That's cool. Going back and doing the rewatch that I did, because I finally finished the rewatch. I finished Naruto and I finished Naruto Shippuden. Boruto's not really included in the rewatch per se. I kind of want to wait till that finishes overall to do that. Because I did watch it as it was showing, but I'm also keeping up the manga. So I'm good right now. But during the rewatch, like, it hits a little better. Not better, but it hits a little harder. Looking at how the friendship between Shikamaru and Naruto, that's the friendship that they should be focusing on. They should have focused on this. That shit with Naruto and Sasuke, I'm taking Sasuke out. And people gotta understand, every time Naruto fought Sasuke, he was fighting to keep him and bring him back. Sasuke was the one that was cloning and fighting to get rid of Naruto. But learn like that, looking at the deaths and how that kind of affected it overall, learning the history, this like really dialing in on Itachi, dialing in on each of the Akatsuki members and why they fell down certain paths, or like what each, like why each pair was each pair. I didn't think about Itachi. I didn't really focus in or think about Itachi and Kisame's parent, because Itachi wasn't really. You learn Itachi wasn't really paired with Kisame at first. It was only later, but they match up because just like Itachi took down his not just clan, like let's just say his whole comrades for a reason. Kisame did the same thing, took out his whole comrades for a reason. So they both have that understanding there. It's just there's always a differentiation in the overall reason as to why they did it. But they have that in common. Just like Deidara and Sasori. Their version of like art. Deidara art is an explosion. Sasori art is preservation. So stuff like that. Religion, all of that. The deaths, the connections to it, seeing Jiraiya, but then also just certain stuff. Like it hits a lot harder. So that's what I always liked about anime. But bringing it back to Castlevania Nocturne, boy, that I'm putting up there with gotta see it. Watch Castlevania, then watch Castlevania Nocturne, because Castlevania was already up there and Nocturne put it up a notch. I'm gonna watch Castlevania over again just because of how dope it is. Castlevania Nocturne really got in his anime bag. I'm talking with the summons, with the combat, what they were doing with magic. Yeah. And there was a point, slight spoiler, but not spoiler, because you don't know who does it, but there's a character that motherfucker could damn near go Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan Blue. It was blue fire, but boy, it looked Super Saiyan bluish. Like he had that look in his eye, like you done crossed the line. Now I got to take you out. So yes, that's the anime that I was watching this week, or at this time of this recording. How I've watched it so far. I'm also trying to get back into Blue Lock. I was kind of let down because of the animation, but I'm gonna go back and take a chance anyway. Let's get back to the TikTok ban and resurgence real quick, because that was, you know what it taught people, or I hope it taught people. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Now, people usually say this and you brush it off. Like, oh, don't put all your eggs in one basket. I get it. No, really don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like, put all your time and effort into something, but if you're an artist, or if you do stuff like this, like podcast, you do videos, have your stuff kind of shown on other platforms too, because you never know what could happen. What this TikTok ban was showing us was like, yo, if they don't feel like it, if those higher up don't care or don't understand, then they're not gonna take the time to understand. They're just gonna do whatever they want to. That being, take something away like TikTok, which some people would be like, oh, it's just an app. No, TikTok was life changing. Businesses started, people got famous, people got job opportunities because of TikTok and their exposure. People were able to make money. You know how in this country you kind of need 2 jobs in order to just live. Like in order to just survive, tell you the truth. To live, you got to get lucky. But to like survive and just, have enough to have enough, you kind of need 2 jobs. This was like a second job that people could have. Like they could go work the job they had and then get to this. Some of them, that was their job. They be like, yo, I can stop doing this dumbass thing and I can start doing TikTok full time. I could be a creator like I've always wanted to be. People capitalize on that. And I could understand the tears. I could understand the cries, people being super dramatic because, yo, it's life changing and this is how I connected with my audience. Now you're taking away my audience. And it's hard to transition people from TikTok to Instagram or to Facebook or to YouTube, because sometimes it doesn't really Like, it takes a while for you to get popping enough for that. Otherwise than that, the small, like me on mine only have like, I think like 637 people that follow me. But I can tell them blue in the face, hey, or show them clips like, hey, I have a YouTube podcast and I also do videos like gaming stuff. I just got it. I'm gonna keep at it, but it's just you have to keep at it with stuff like that in order to get the actual audience that you're looking for, to get that type of notoriety. It's difficult. So yeah, with TikTok getting banned, and mind you, I had it set to just ban as far as like my notes, like, oh, let's talk about the TikTok ban. I wasn't necessarily. I knew it was gonna come back some way, but I didn't think it was gonna be that fast. And the resurgence, it's one of those things where, hey, why did you guys do that? That's the thing. Because, oh, the ban's in effect. All right, now we're taking it away. That quickly, not even letting a week, not even letting a full day pass, you bring it back. But it went dark for a certain amount of hours. So what did they do in those hours? You're starting to hear these rumblings of, hey, there's old Zuckerberg and Elon Musk is in the background, just, living it up with the president. Too close for some reason. Like, them saying, hey, TikTok has to sell. TikTok not wanting to sell because, we're not just in America, we're all over the place. But you have to understand that America is kind of like not being conceited and saying, oh, all eyes on America, but like many things, we drive the culture forward. And that's on all social media apps. That's why they had a whole thing called Black Twitter. And sorry, not sorry, but black people, we are and will always be the culture. We are the reason for culture. But yeah, TikTok ban and resurgence, like the resurgence is just, you got to keep your eye open. Because why, when they said they needed to sell it, it wasn't going to stay on here. Like, why all of a sudden a change? What are y'all doing in the background that we don't know or won't know until it's too late? And it kind of dirtied the app now, because now it's a thing that, oh, you'll take it away when you feel like it and give it back when you feel like it. That doesn't give a good. If somebody has something that they can just take away and give back to you at their leisure, you kind of don't want that thing anymore, or it's not the same. Like when they take it away and then they try to give it back, like, oh, never mind, we're gonna give it back. Like, nah, it's not. Like, now it's just it's not the same. Still, do I use it? Absolutely. Still, are people going to use it? They're going to get their businesses back, get it going. They're still going to use it, yes, because we don't know the exact implications of it. Excuse me. Remember to hydrate. We don't know the exact implications of it, but we are just happy to have it back for now. Okay, it's kind of like a thing that takes our mind off of what's going on, and just a breath of fresh air. Glad to have it back. Leading into the next thing of where to go, who dictates the culture, because let me make sure my Xbox isn't cut off. I, again, had some of this stuff lined up because of the TikTok ban, but with the resurgence, question still stands: where to go when something like that would happen? Like, the permanent things that are around are always going to be around is Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, X, and YouTube. Longest time, always YouTube. YouTube has stood the test of time. Hard to do the exact same things on TikTok on YouTube is like a shot in the dark. With the next one being getting popping on Instagram. Instagram has videos that you can kind of have like TikTok, but still a little more toxic. Same thing with Facebook, because they're both connected. And a nasty thing, by the way, when that whole thing went dark, and you could tell, like, there's workings in the background, because when that whole thing with TikTok went dark, the next thing that happened was that I opened up Instagram, like, cool, let me see what else is going on. Let me talk my shit about it shutting down. Instagram sends me a message, hey, now you can record 3-minute long videos. And I've always said the thing that keeps me from posting some of my stuff I do on TikTok on Instagram was that they only allow you to do a minute and 30-second videos. Same thing with YouTube. YouTube, it only allows you to do up to 60 minutes. Now, also on YouTube said, hey, we're letting you do 3-minute videos. As soon as the ban happens, then they changed the template of how Instagram look. Instagram, it used to be just straight square. Look a completely different way with the reels and all of that. Now it's more rectangular, just like TikToks. So you gotta pay attention. You gotta read in between the lines, and you gotta pay attention to certain stuff. But as far as where to go, it's like, dog, the term "don't put your eggs in one basket." Listen, wherever you record your stuff, just make sure maybe 1 or 2 clips, put it on, even on YouTube. You record a big video just like this one, I'm gonna start just making clips on the like the shorts. I'm also gonna try and send those over to Instagram now that there's 3-minute videos. And Instagram's already connected to Facebook, so it's gonna go over there too. But yeah, just putting it in different areas, putting it back on TikTok as well. Just doing these different things so that way you have the backup plan. You need the A, B, C, D, and so on. Because when they feel like taking away a certain thing or taking away certain access or doing stuff like this, you'll already be set up. And people already warned, like, yo, TikTok is shutting down. We've known that for the whole last year. TikTok shutting down. People were starting to get ready, starting to gear up towards YouTube, and that's good. I mean, I want people to keep that. Like, keep that going. Make sure you're filling up these other sites with your stuff too, because this TikTok thing seems like flip floppy. And another thing about these apps is, yeah, I said it earlier, yo, black people dictate the culture. We dictate the culture of how popular apps will be, because we are the entertainment. We are the innovators, the creators, okay? And not just in sciences and the things that we use every day, but in in your movies, in your TV shows, in your everyday videos, in dances, in music. The most copied style is the black style, the African American style, okay? To be cool means to be, coolness is next to blackness. You know how they say, like, cleanliness is next to godliness, which I rephrase all the time. I say creativity is next to godliness, because what is God if not the greatest creator of all time? So whatever you create is like next, not super next to. I'm not saying like, oh man, what you create, you're just like God. No, I'm saying to create is next to, like, you know, to create is just keeping on the whole thing of creation, which God is the whole CEO of. Okay, biggest creator of all time, never will be a bigger one. So be the coolness, like your coolness factor, if you look at it, if you look at a lot of things that people deem like, oh, this is cool, this is hip, this is what's in, a lot of it is black culture. And the more cool you are, the more you seem to be close to black culture. The coolest music, the coolest beats, hip hop, rap, slow songs, R&B. You know, your favorite actors to kind of watch. Even your favorite type of trash TV or reality TV is black people, dog. We dictate a lot of the culture. And like, people will talk about it and say it, but people don't understand it enough. Like, yo, where we go, people follow. We have to get this thing. Okay, we get to get this out there. Hey, people want to be black, but they don't want to be black. And you can understand that, okay? People don't, skin wise, makeup wise, they don't want to be black, but everything else, as far as the clothes, as far as the cool sayings, as far as the cooking, as far as how we celebrate things, how we can turn certain things, certain jokes, how we do jokes, our comedy, how we do movies, how we create, that's what they want. And it don't really got that same oomph to it when other people do it. And we open it, the flood doors. We be like, hey, yo, you want to do rap? Do rap. You want to do this? You want to do this? Do that. But it'll never be the same. Okay? It just won't. So we dictate the culture. We always will. And that's the power that we have to understand. And that's the power that we was going with, too. Because when TikTok was going down, it was like, oh, is there another app? Xiaoshu? Oh, we going over there. Bye. We will pack up our bags and go. We're not just sitting there. Now, we're not just doing the thing where we just sit there. Oh, well, I guess we gotta just deal with it. Now, we going somewhere else. We gonna make it popping somewhere else, okay? If this club ain't popping, we going to this club to get it popping. If this place ain't popping, we going over here. That's just how we do things. So never forget, if you're worried about, oh, how is this gonna look? Will this catch on, stuff like that? We dictate the culture. So you're good. Hey, listen. On some geek shit, okay? Some super geek shit. Not, in reigns of this and, Green Lantern. I got my hands on the number ones. Not the exact number ones. I'm still looking for those. But I got my hands on the number ones for Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman. Okay. And there's a. Can I put the? I might put the video in on my shorts because I did have the video on TikTok just showing off the 4 comics. So I got 4 of them. I got 2 Batman comics, and then I got Superman, Wonder Woman. Number ones are important. Number ones have always been important, but you have to catch it on things that are fire. Because I have a whole comic collection of when the the diverse kind of Justice League was coming out. The diverse DC. The Black Batman, Brazilian Wonder Woman, Superman, who was actually Superman's son, just taking in the role because Superman was off doing something else. And he just happened to be gay. So that was different. And you have a different type of Flash. I think that Flash was like non-binary, or something happened to their legs, so they were kind of handicapped. They still had the Speed Force, so they were still it was just, they were trying to do something different, but it didn't catch on because people weren't super ready for that change yet. I still I have the number ones for that. Some of the alternate covers for because not only the new ones that had comic issues, but you had Nightwing that had a different issue, and Robin, and OG Wonder Woman, and OG Batman, and Superman Family. Suicide Squad had something different. Swamp Thing had something different. So I caught on most of those number ones early. It's just it didn't catch on. I was like, damn, this one, the absolute universe is looking fire. Because you have a Batman that people were kind of asking for. Like a more grounded, more in the dirt, but ready to do some type of Batman. Excuse me. You have Superman with a different origin. This Superman, to go back to that Batman didn't come from a rich family. But one parent did die. That was his father. He still has his mother. He still has his sense of justice and vengeance. And he's a brolic ass dude. He is Broly, okay? And his Batman is menacing. In stature, and just him being able to move like that and be like this brute and still be Batman. His Batmobile is like a big ass construction truck. Alfred is an actual how you had Alfred oh yeah, I used to be, in the military too. This Alfred in this universe is legit like an agent. Okay? And then the way they have the supervillains, they have the Joker. I can't wait to get that one because they have the Joker, but there's a different reason why they call him the Joker. Okay, it's like he ain't laughing. Okay, he don't never joke around. That's why they call him the Joker. Okay, so it's stuff like that. Absolute Superman. This Absolute Superman, like he's starting off kind of rough, and he's not OD powerful for a long period of time. It's kind of like he has it in spurts. His suit's different. His suit kind of like glows in fire whenever he charges up. It actually talks to him too, so he's got like an AI sort of like Tony Stark thing in his suit. And he has a different origin to where he lived on Krypton for a little while. And his family wasn't like super high up. Like his family was kind of on the farm too. Like it starts off with him being in like a farm type of area. And him seeing like, you know, what's going on in his planet because he was raised there up until he was like a young, I think like preteen or a teenager, and then got the Earth. So he's lived his time on that planet with that heritage, with that culture, and then has to come to Earth. So that's a different mindset going on. He's living with his parents, with his dog Crypto. Okay? Meeting Lois Lane for the first time. She's like in a different type of business. What else? It's different. It's not so much that it's more grounded, but so much more that they grounded the character to where they don't have it like, hey, they're high up here and then they come down. Like, no. They're in the mix. The House of L, like that being the symbol, which was like, oh, it's an S and it just happens to be his family crest or something. It's a little different. It's the working class crest. There's different crests depending on your class system. So it's setting it up like that. That's good. Wonder Woman, she's like the last Amazon. Much like Superman's the last son of Krypton, she's like the last daughter of Themyscira, raised by a witch. So not only she's raised by a witch, like dealing with demons, and she's got a big ass Buster sword. The cover I got is back there somewhere, and it's too much getting up and coming back. Just so you know, that first cover, Wonder Woman, her with the Buster sword. If you see that one, that's the one I got of number 1. It's an alternate cover. It's not the original first one, but it's definitely the like cover B. The same thing with the Batman one. The Batman one, I have the cover B. I have the cover A, but it's the black and white one. This black and white one is different because it's a reflective one. It's more like black and silver because you can actually see yourself in it. And it's the same with the Superman number 1. It's the cover, the actual cover, but it's in black and silver and it's reflective. You can see it in it. And that's dope. I think this one I'm going to collect them as they come out. I can't wait for the Green Lantern one because the Green Lantern one, it kind of looks like maybe this one they're going to have Sojourner, because Sojourner was a Green Lantern in the Lost Sector. This one, I think they're going to have Sojourner as the main character, but there's already going to be established Green Lanterns here. Now, I got to go look at the picture again to see which Green Lanterns that were in like the teaser images or something, but yeah, they're gonna have Absolute Green Lantern. Can't wait. Absolute Flash. I think his power is going to operate a little differently, and they're going to have Absolute Martian Manhunter. What it looks like is that Martian Manhunter kind of combines with a person and shares their body in sort of like a symbiote kind of way, which would be dope. These are cool concepts that they got as far as like this Absolute Universe, because the Absolute Universe, where they dictated it, right? The regular DC universe kind of runs on Superman energy, but this Absolute DC universe runs on Darkseid energy. So DC isn't a sunshine type of thing, but it's still like a little more sunshine here versus like a little more grit on this one. And this one's got like the different origins, more serious, I don't know, more metal, that type of thing. But yeah, and as I'm learning, I think so far 3 issues for each have come out now. Maybe 4 for Batman. But yeah, it's still going good so far. Still going good. It's still going strong. I'm interested to see how like Absolute Shazam is going to look. Stuff like that. Trying to get into this comic thing, man. Not just because I like the stories too, and because I like comics, but also, hey, there's rarities. I always see it. Hey, like number the first issue of Spider-Man, or the first issue where this person appeared or this person appeared. Stuff like that. That's the collector's item. And since they only give like a certain amount and you can only get them in a certain way, I remember actually going to the comic book store for the first time, like, hey, you guys got it? Nope, we ain't got it. We ran out so many copies. Didn't expect it to be this popular. So now I got to find different ways to get these comics, but I will get these comics, okay? And what else? What other geek stuff? This right here, this Dragon Ball Z card game. These are actually fire looking cards, and I'm collecting all the, you know how they have like the base structured decks. Sometimes they're not always like the most sought after because everybody can get those structured decks, right? But I like collecting those decks and then getting the packs too, the actual booster packs. I got some interesting stuff in those booster packs. I do those. I'm still collecting, slightly collecting other types of cards. Magic the Gathering is a big one too. I just like Magic the Gathering because of how they have like the 5 color system, what each color represents. I bought a whole book on the different areas of it because it kind of inspires me. So each one, you got like one that's kind of set on like Egypt, and one that kind of seems like Aztec and Mayan culture, one that's like futuristic Japan, and one that looks like mafia New York. So they've got these interesting things in how they apply the colors to each, or the mix of colors. I just like Magic the Gathering, the whole aspect of it. And collecting the cards is like a little bonus. Okay? Am I a super big Magic the Gathering nerd? No. I did get their comics also. I got like 5 issues, and that was it. But that's my geek moment, you know. Still keeping up with my writing. Writing is such like a back and forth thing. I focus on one thing, then I have a different idea. Focus on that, I have a different idea about the first thing I thought about. I'll go back to that, and then it's like I don't know, it's like a ADHD thing. Like I have 16 different ideas. A lot of them will be maybe in the same universe as a story I'm working on, and I would like divvy into those. Like maybe I should focus here or there. Maybe I should do these individually. Maybe I should do these as a whole connected universe and have individual like I'm trying to be the whole DC or Marvel by myself. Is it possible? With more help, absolutely. I have a big thing of ideas just that I got, but it's transmitting them from thought to paper. That's the hardest, because it's almost like freestyling. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not even lying. When I hear a beat or I hear a song, I can think of the bars all day. But once it comes like free, like in my mind, I'm freestyling it and I'm killing it. It's not like oh man, I'm killing it to me. Like no, I'm killing it. Like I'm giving you some double entendres in there. But when it comes to like, all right, I have to sit down and write this. Like or I have to like transmit it out there. It's like it goes from it just being fluid to me just all of a sudden just stuttering, and it's going super slow and it don't sound right. Same thing with writing. It's almost like somebody saying, hey, like, yo, pop this freestyle, and you kind of like, damn, yeah, get it, check it, like doing that for the longest amount of time without getting some real stuff out. That's what it's like for me right now with this whole like writer's block at certain points and just trying to get this out. But I did get a first story out, a first part of it, as far as like my sort of like fantasy comic bookish type of story involving superheroes in a superhero world. And to give you like a small little insight, is this particular story, I have it set to where um, a cosmic event happens that affects the Earth. I call it auroran energy radiance because of how you see how the aurora borealis is. Well, this incident kind of spreads that throughout the world, and this, in a sense, creates like mutants or metahumans. I give them a different name. I call them phenoms, short for phenomenal. These phenomenal beings, popularly known as phenoms, start to emerge. Special powers. One lady can start fires with, just her legs. Another kid can do chameleon stuff, like just blend in and bend light. And where I focus on, because I might change it up. I like to change it to present day because there's certain things that'll let me be able to certain characters that I have in mind that I need the technology of today to be involved in. Because I have the story, the original like draft set in 2000. At first it was going to be 1970s. I was going to try to have it something like that. Too far back. Then I was going to have it 2000. Still too far back. I'm thinking of putting it at 2020. 2020 pivotal stuff happened too. But having it there, and the story is revolving first around this kid, the young black teenager, like 16, Albert Inglewood. And he just happens to get his powers. His powers awaken when he's involved in a certain incident. So now it's one of those things where you get abilities like, who can I tell? Who can I not tell? Kids normally don't tell their parents about stuff that they got because they think they know everything, and that if they tell their parents, they tell somebody older, they're not gonna let them do what they want with their powers, or maybe they'll get in trouble, or do they have to be careful because of how society looks at people with these abilities, stuff like that. Like, he's trying to decide, okay, what I want to do, I want to be a superhero. Now, how do I go about doing this? And it's the growing pains between that, learning like other people have become phenoms, how they're doing certain things. Maybe there's other people that are also trying to become superheroes at this time, or maybe I'll have it to where it happens like, let's say it did happen in 2020, and now 5 years later, he gets his powers, and oh, do I do like these people did? Does it mean I'm good, I'm bad, stuff like that. So I'm working into that, and you know how comic books usually do something. You'll have a crossover with a different character, and maybe if that character is written good enough, which I do have an idea for it, then they can kind of have their own set of adventures going on. Either they stay in with the main story, the main character for a while, or it's just meet them one off, have their own adventure for a little bit, have them keep coming back and forth, and then they have characters they cross over with. And next thing you know, I have my own DC universe. I'm very with that. Same thing with I have a fantasy story. I have a fantasy story called Coachrum Tales, and the people in this universe, this like magical fantasy world, they call it Coachrum because I call it Coachrum because I did something where I just want to make different words, and I put color spectrum together, and it's just like, you know how you have like these different colors in the spectrum, you have these different things that group together and make this one thing. Coachrum Tales. They'll call it Coachrum, as far as like the lands for a different reason. There's domain lands, there's northern and southern and all the directions. And I have 6 different races of people that I call Fane, which like you got your humans, your elves, your cat people. You can't have a fantasy story without cat people. Cat people, bird people, turtle people, and lizard dragon like people. Each representing an element or an energy aspect. Let's say the humans represent chi, elves represent magic, and lions are earth, The lizard people are fire, the turtles are water, the birds are air. Not really like a Avatar sort of thing as far as how they operate with the magic, but in a way to where, just like how it was hard for Aang to learn earthbending because that was his opposite element. Okay, he was an airbender, earthbending. Not only as far as like the opposite element, as far as like where it's listed, if you made a chart, but also in the what's the word? What's the word? In the aspects of what airbending is. Because to tell you the truth, what is air? What is wind if not free flowing? And then what is earth bending? Like what is the earth? What is rocks if not grounded? Like sturdy, one place. You're not really moving everywhere. You're stern. So of course, that's hard. Just like, uh, no. I was gonna go with Korra too, but Korra's a little different because learning firebending, she really didn't have a hard time. It, you know what? With them, it was two different things. I don't know why I'm dipping into Avatar real quick. It was two different things because with Aang, it was so far as it's the opposite element. It's too hard, and it was the aspect of that element, like the philosophical aspect of it. There it is. With Korra, it was kind of like that too because she's more of that. Not so much as, I guess for them, airbending was a little more calm, in touch with the spirit realm. Like you got to be like able to connect a lot with it. And hers was more of like action, like fuck connection. I'm here now with it. I'm here in the here and now. Let's get to it. So philosophically, it was hard for her to learn airbending, even though that's not her opposite element. Her opposite element is firebending, but because of how she was and how she is, she had no problem learning it. But with the Cultrum Tales, the way I have it set up is people have access to these elements through magic or through chi, and you have the usual. Like not everybody everybody has like certain people have access to become something like a mage or something like a warrior, but you have to study, and studying as far as like doing things with magic, even if you have the access or the ability to do it, not a lot of people can stick with it or it's too hard. The same thing with being like a warrior. And it's just I'm doing something where I'm trying to tell like one to two different stories and keeping it going with that. Okay, so I've got these different ideas, just popping in my head at all times. And that's kind of what is going on with how I write. How it's kind of like ADHD, like how I'm trying to get grounded and just focus on one thing. So now I'm just focusing on the superhero one. For now, I'm really zoning in on that. I'm working on the second story for it. I'll get to it when I get to it. Once I get like a good traction going, I'll start putting it out there for people to read. So once I get like maybe 4 short stories in there, I'll give it to y'all. And that is it. Okay. I think the last thing is maybe the president himself. Listen, there's not much to talk about. He's back. You guys voted for him. You guys voted for him. You didn't learn. You didn't pay attention to what he did the first time, how he acts. You don't care about how we are represented as a country. Does it make me pissed? No. But does it make me slightly mad? Yes. And for him to not only not have to be subjugated to the law like everybody else is supposed to be is crazy work. It just shows you, hey, if you have a certain amount of power, you can do whatever you want. And people kind of like, it wasn't so surface level. You could kind of see here and there, like, oh, they're not getting in trouble because of this or that. And you kind of had to make speculation here and there. But this one, it put it on Front Street. Hey, if I'm like an ex president, if I'm like an ex like top tier sort of place, if I do something, I just have to resign and I'm good, or I just have to take a vacation or I'm good, or hey, I have this position, you're not throwing me in there. I'm good. So apparently people saying, yo, no one's above the law. By now you should already know. Yes, there are people that are above the law, whether we like it or not. Him being petty and trying to undo a lot of the things that Biden put in, you already know that's just who he is. He's shown you multiple times through reality TV, through personal things of what he's done back in the 80s and the 90s, and he's just showing you what he is. And you guys still said, "Ayo, fuck it, I'm gonna vote for him." For whatever purposes you had, I guarantee you he's not going to follow those purposes. And for all those people, which most of us out here, if you always look at the charts, you always look at the TikToks, they tell you, hey, majority of us are struggling. There's really no middle class. It's have and have nots. You either got it or you don't. You can either swim or you can't swim. And a lot of us cannot swim. No, we don't get floaties like the higher ups do. We got to go out there and try to doggy paddle our way to salvation. It's literally like us doggy paddling in a water race and going against Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps being the higher ups. So understand that he's just there to. It's an opportunity, and once you look at the certain people that are hanging around him, Bezos, Musk, Zuckerberg, you know the properties that they have, the moves that they're trying to make. When you see certain people are moving a certain way, Snoop Dogg, Rick Ross, Nelly. When you see people moving a certain way, they have an agenda in mind. Agenda to further what they got going. They'll probably disguise it as, hey, I'm doing this because this will get, people to do this, or this get access to people for this or this. It's something that personal agendas, overall agendas are trying to be met or trying to be had. It is what it is. Look, it's not the end of the world, okay? It's not the end of the world. You don't have to worry about that. What it is, though, is an eye opener, and hopefully, I hate the fact that they took the term, like most people do with our shit. They take the term or they take something and make it completely like out of pocket, out of term, and now it's just bad to say. But hopefully people have woken up. Hopefully you have become like, not woken in a sense, but kind of, to what's going on. You can no longer have the curtain overhead covering what's going on. The curtain is ripped down. You can no longer close your eyes at the scary parts. Look at the scary parts. It's happening around you, okay? You cannot hide behind people. You cannot wear shades. You cannot just say, fuck that. It has nothing to do with me. It all has everything to do with you. Okay? You are the future. Whoever's listening to this, you are the future. Even if you're listening to this in the future, you still are the future. That's just how it is. And so you have to pay attention to these events, not just around you, but in life, because you help to decide what's going to happen further on. We do still have that part when it comes to power. Because think about it. There are people in seats now that cannot be there forever. We, the younger and the younger than me, are the ones who have to take those spots eventually. And now the one thing we cannot do, which a lot of people tend to do, I've seen in the military a lot, people go from 3-stripe to 4-stripe to 5-stripe to 6-stripe and forget how it was to be 2-striper and just completely shit on everybody. People do not forget about what happens when you're at this moment, when you're at the low moments. So when you get higher up, you can help people not feel how you were at the lower moments. People will tend to forget countless times how it was to be at the bottom, how it was to be in certain positions. Like, okay, I don't have to worry about this anymore. That's behind me. It's not behind you. It is you. Okay, you are the lower moments and you are the higher moments that you're going to get to. Just don't forget, so that way you can help people not be, just help people out that are at their lower moments. Become the person that you would want someone, become the person that you would want to come in and help you right now. Become that person. You can become that person. You think it's impossible. Just like I do with this calisthenics shit. Just like I do with working out or eating better or writing or trying to get back into art, doing YouTube. You can do it. Okay, you can do it. Whatever. And not to say like, oh, you can fly. You can. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking realistically. You can do whatever you want to do when you put in the time and you remember all the steps. Okay. Be the chef. Okay. Remember all the steps, every step in that order. Just, you want a better future, you got to work towards it. And if you want a better future, people always say, yo, study the past in the present so that way you can know how to move on into the future. That's why the past is so important. Is the past hurtful? Yes. Is there a lot of hard things in the past? Yes. But if you don't want things to repeat, or you don't want things to get harder, or you don't want things to be as bad as they are in your present, study the stuff that's happening. Remember the stuff. You have it memorized, make a better future. All of us can make a better future. We just have to come together. But for some reason, we refuse to come together. But hopefully these events have taught us like, hey, when we come together, even in small aspects, as much as like switching to an app, we're powerful. We can make changes happen. We can get the attention. No matter what kind of attention. We can get the attention. We can make the change. Okay? My 5 things, not just eat better, but do better. Put better stuff in your body. Get the getting. Don't do the most. Mind your business. And now in the aspect of, okay, not like the New York mind your business. Like, oh, that person is having trouble. Not my problem. No, if you can help somebody, that's one of the few times where you mind someone else's business. If they need help, assistance, then yes. Help them in their business. But you just peeking into everybody's life, just trying to get the 411, just trying to get the T on this and that you don't really need to. That's when you got to mind your business, because that's just a dangerous road to be down. But anyway, thank you for listening. I enjoy you listening. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, do the whole thing. Make clips about it if you want to make clips. Thank you for giving me your time. Time is precious, and I appreciate the preciousness that you have allowed me to use. Hopefully I gave you some information. Hopefully I encouraged you. Hopefully I entertained you. Okay? Entertainer right here. Thank you for joining me on this journey as I'm continually trying to get up there in the atmosphere so I can do some big things, get some big things popping. And, stick around next time for your boy when he drops episode 23 of The Main Character Podcast, baby.